changed the battery.
Speak into the mic.
Calling the meeting to order. Do we have public comment?
We're going to call roll first,
Okay, thank you.
um,
Call roll.
please. Trustee Chin Lau, Trustee Aragon,
Present.
Trustee Gibson,
Present.
Trustee Silver,
Here.
Trustee Kwong, Trustee Liu,
Here.
Trustee Wong,
Here.
Student Trustee Derek Shani.
And Trustee Sandra Chin Lau and Trustee Kristen Kwong are excused. Do we have public comment? No public comment.
public comment.
So we will recess to closed session. Government Code 549569, conference with legal counsel. Government Code 54956.8, conference with real property negotiator. We'll recess to closed session. Calling the meeting to order. Report out from closed session.
I think we have to do roll call first, please.
Roll call.
Okay. Trustee Chin Lau. Trustee Aragon.
Present.
Trustee Gibson.
Present.
Trustee Silver.
Here.
Trustee Kwong. Trustee Liu.
Here.
Trustee Wang.
Here.
Student Trustee Derek Shani.
Here.
Thank you. The report out from closed session. In closed session, the board took action to approve a settlement agreement with a former employee, a copy of which is available for public inspection upon request. The roll call was unanimous. Thank you. I understand we have a public comment request.
Yes, on item D, we have a public comment on D3 and D4. So what I would like to ask our guest if you're willing to speak on both of them back to back. Is that fine? Great. Thank you.
All right, I'm okay to go. I'm here today to present a revised land acknowledgement that I hope PCC and the Board of Trustees will adopt and use from now on to accurately and properly recognize Black Americans as foundational Black Americans, Black Indigenous, and American Aborigines, to replace the undefined and improper terms of African diaspora, African American, Black, and Brown people. Here is the revised version. Pasadena City College is a learning community within the indigenous homelands of people who have been known as the Gabrielino Band of Mission Indians of the Chichicangua Village and Quiche Nation. Tonight, we acknowledge the painful history of genocide and forced removal from this land on which we gather. We also honor the legacy and lineage of foundational Black Americans and recognize that the United States as we know it was built at the often fatal expense of forcefully captured, imprisoned, and enslaved Black, Indigenous, and American Aboriginals. We are indebted to their labor and the labor of all people that continue to work in the shadows for our collective benefit. PCC and its faculty, staff, students, and alumni recognize that we are all simultaneously teachers, learners, and guests on these lands. This acknowledgement is a small part on an ongoing process of working to raise awareness about true histories that are too often erased or forgotten, to recognize our place in this history and to affirm our commitment to social justice, systemic change, and anti-racism. Okay, and I'm done with D3.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So we'll start on D4.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the clock to reset.
All right, so I'm here today as we move forward to this month celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday this Monday and moving forward to February as we commemorate the 100th anniversary of Black History Month. I want to give you a perspective of a foundational Black American and what they see when they look at this flag that we are about to do the Pledge of Allegiance. What I see when I see this flag is a 13-year-old indentured servant, Black girl by the name of Grace Wisher. It's spelled Gracewisher. Some might call her a slave. I see her as an American. She was a co-creator, I don't want to say inventor, but a co-collaborator of the design and the actual construction of the original Stars Spangled Banner flag. So as we stand today, and hopefully in the future, you would think of her amongst other people and foundational Black Americans that have dedicated their lives to the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you.
Student trustee, will you do our land acknowledgement?
Okay, so Pasadena City College is a learning community within the indigenous homelands of people who have been known as the Gabrielino Band of Mission Indians of the Chichicangua Village and Quiche Nation. Tonight we acknowledge the painful history of genocide and forced removal from this land on which we gather. We also honor the legacy of the African diaspora and recognize that the United States as we know it was built at the often fatal expense of forcefully enslaved Black people. We are indebted to their labor and the labor of the many Black and brown bodies that continue to work in the shadows for our collective benefit. PCC and its faculty, staff, and students recognize that we are all simultaneously teachers, learners, and guests on these lands. This acknowledgement is a small part of an ongoing process of working to raise awareness about the histories that are too often erased or forgotten, to recognize our place in this history, and to affirm our commitment to social justice, systemic change, and anti-racism.
Thank you. Trustee Liu, would you lead us in the pledge?
Yes, please rise if you're able to and face the flag. Place your right hand over your heart and follow me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Approval and reordering of agenda items.
So moved. To approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Introductions and recognitions.
Board President Gibson, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the one-year anniversary of the fires that have so profoundly reshaped and changed our communities, both in the Palisades and also certainly here at home in Altadena and Pasadena with the Eaton fire. And I'd like to request I would like to actually like to read the names of those we have lost into the record, and also ask for us to adjourn in memory tonight to recognize these lives, and also for us to have a moment of silence for those that we have lost. And if my colleagues would indulge me, I could read the names of those we have lost from both of both regions. Oswald Almetz, Carolyn Burns, Edwin Cridland, Delise Curry, Stacy Darden, Kevin Devine, Juan Francisco Espinoza, Miva Friedley, Erlene Kelly, Barbara Lewis, Evelyn McClendon, Patricia McKenna, Anthony Mitchell Sr., Justin Mitchell, Rodney Nickerson, Victor Shaw, Laura Swain, Kim Wieniecki, Jifeng Zhao, Marilyn Hamilton, Randall Meode, Elizabeth Morgan, Charlie Mortimer, Betty O'Meara, Annette Rossili, Mark Schrenenberg, Arthur Simoneau, Rory Callum Sykes, Jeffrey Takayama, Diana Webb, and Hack Wong. Mr. President, would you be able to lead us in a moment of silence?
Yes. Moment of silence. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Public comment on non-agenda items?
We have no public comment at this point.
Thank you. Approval of minutes for board meeting, regular business meeting, December 10th, 2025.
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Student trustee,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Approved. Do we have board committees reporting out?
The facility subcommittee met yesterday and got a great update from Director Lorette and the facility staff about all the exciting projects that are happening and going to happen simultaneously on campus. And there'll be, for your review today, some contracts related to facilities in our business agenda.
Thank you. No other committees. We'll move to consent calendar.
I move to approve consent calendar items F1 through G12.
Second.
I have a comment. I'd like to pull.
Okay.
I'd like to pull two contracts out of G12. So do you want to hold off all of G or just the two?
I think I will amend my motion to approve items F1 through G12 absent item G12. So, sorry, F1 through G11.
Yes.
I'll second that one.
You. Student trustee,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. We can address G12 now.
On G12, there are two contracts for us to ratify. And just to be sure, there's a difference between ratification and approval. And ratify means the money has already been spent, but it's coming, or allocated, but it's coming to the board for us to, after the fact, give the okay. And I was distressed to learn while I was reading our agenda that we are ratifying nearly $250,000 for a bond, which I knew nothing about. Trustees are supposed to work on fiduciary oversight is a key role of the Board of Trustees. And we should work collegially with our president for the best of the college. And to see something as important as a bond just as a contract, as a potential bond on our contract, and not have been consulted and not working together was a surprise to me. So I would just like to reemphasize that we need to work together as a team, especially for something as important as going out for a bond, because your board, we're the eyes, ears, and voice of the community, and the community needs to support the bond. In addition, I hope that when we worked on our bond PCC, we worked hand in hand with the foundation board, because the foundation board are the ones that have to pay for the marketing. So I'm hopeful that the foundation board is aware of this potential expense that will fall in their laps to support a possible bond. So I don't know, has there been discussion with the foundation board on this?
On the bond?
Yeah?
No.
Okay. All right. So now that I'm thinking about the bond, I'm thinking about our current PCC bond, and that we issued Series A for $130 million in July of 2023. IRS regulation states that we have to spend or encumber the money within 3 years. And that would be July 2026, in 6 months. I didn't know where we were in the spending, and I went to our PCC bond oversight page on our website, and in the minutes from their December 2025 meeting, we still have nearly $75 million to spend or encumber within 6 months. So then I looked at our project schedule, and I'm fully aware that we had the fire, and I totally know that is really significant to the progress of this. But we're a year behind what we had where we thought we would be when we developed the project in our facilities strategic plan. So I am bringing this forward. Can we, I guess a question I have is, what is the possibility of spending or encumbering wisely the $75 million by July 2026?
I think for the one issue, at least, the one issue around the previous bond, that's really not under this particular category. So you can add that as a future agenda item. So we
Okay.
can deal with that then, Ryan.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Trustee Silver. Appreciate your keen eye to our fiduciary duty as trustees. I guess I had a question for our team then, because the way I read the contract that Trustee Silver mentioned we're supposed to ratify, it's not to approve a bond, right? Or just maybe it'd be helpful from Dr. Gomez or our VP Gutierrez to explain a little bit more so we have more clarity on that.
And perhaps while that may happen, so folks get a second, I think one thing that I think is important is that we need to have the information that is necessary, and our team and staff here at the college need to have the information necessary to figure out what to propose to the board and what is possible in the auspices of anything that may come before us. So I should say that I think that the steps being taken in the contract log are important in terms of better understanding the landscape of what is to come. I will say that when it comes, and I know this is not an item as pointed out by Dr. Gibson, so I appreciate that, but I think I would encourage folks to watch last night's facilities meeting where we got a great overview of the projects that are in our updated facility strategic plan that has included where we are in the progress of these projects, and that there are, in fact, 5 major groups of projects that are happening simultaneously, and with slightly different scales, certainly, but all happening simultaneously that are in accordance with our facilities plan. So I think that perhaps reviewing that meeting will help the understanding of what is to come when it comes to our Measure PCC work.
Thank you very much for an opportunity to respond to the question, Trustee Silver. In reviewing those contracts, they are for approval, not ratifications. We've not spent monies on those at this point.
In the contract log, it says ratify.
And that may have been error because it's for approval. Nothing has been paid on either of those 2 contracts. So I apologize for if it says ratify. It should say approval.
Thank you. Can we make that correction?
Can I ask for a motion to approve the contract log with the amendment to indicate that these 2 contracts are for approval?
Is there a second?
I'll second that. Second.
Student trustee,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Passes. Now to approve personnel, student trustee does not vote. The consent calendar.
Also moved.
So moved that we approve all the personnel consent. Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, I'll give it to Trustee Silver.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That passes. Thank you. Resolution number 880, commemorating International Holocaust Remembrance Day, January 27th, 2026. Is there a motion?
So moved?
And I'll second.
Thank you. Student trustee,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Resolution number 881, commemorating African American History Month, February 2026.
We do have a public comment on this item,
Thank you.
Mr. Chair. So our public comment is from PCC alumnus.
Hello again. You guys are familiar with me by now. I've been coming here the last year or so off and on talking about this particular subject. Black History Month has always been called Black History Month. I believe everybody in here knows Black History Month as Black History Month. To call it anything else would be a misrepresentation of the observance of this month coming up this February. Our nation calls Black History Month Black History Month. Our state, our city, our county, our school district, but somehow, for some reason, Pasadena City College has decided to brand Black History Month as Black Heritage Month, and now seemingly African American Heritage or African American Month. I want to ask the board to ask themselves, why is that? I particularly want to ask my representative from District 4 to ask herself and the board, why is Black History Month being referred to something else? I would appreciate it if the school begins from today on, especially now since this year is celebrating the 100th anniversary of Black History Month, which used to be called Negro History Week. I would not demand, but I really wish that I wouldn't have to spend this amount of time on something so simple. I could have been working with the school to create a grand event and it's just a missed opportunity. And I'm so disappointed in the school for allowing one person or one department to change a national observance. That is so important to me and other people like me. So if you please refer and solidify that February is Black History Month, and to solidify that the people who Black History Month is representing, their achievements within this country, solidify it with the colors and the flag of the United States of America, red, white, and blue. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been moved and seconded. Student.
May I have a comment?
Yes.
There is a thought that by saying African American, we are neglecting the community of Black people from Brazil, South America, Central America, and the Caribbean islands. Is it possible to, at this point in time, change the resolution to Black History Month from African American?
Trustee Wong?
Wait, excuse me.
folks click
I
the-
don't think we have a first or a second on this, because I
thought we
went right
did.
directly to public comment.
We don't.
Did
Yeah.
we don't, correct? I thought so.
Okay. Thank
See?
you, Trustee Aragon. We can, if we can,
We need a motion.
if
and a
folks
Okay, do we need a
look at the
motion then?
attachment, well, we can still
Before discuss-
comment on it. If folks would open the attachment that is attached to this item, it commemorates Black and African American History Month as the resolution language. And throughout the resolution language, it recognizes both Black Americans and African American communities in its actual language, and of the whereas clauses and also of the resolved clauses.
Thank you.
Do we need a
Do
motion?
we have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Thank
Okay,
you.
now can we align the title of the resolution with the wording within the resolution to be Black and African American history?
do you mean on the agenda item or on, because the resolution itself does have it?
As the title?
Yeah, right here.
He's right. So I guess update the agenda to align. Well,
Let's
if we could
continue this
just,
conversation
yeah, just
offline.
update it, since we're going to revise the agenda from ratify to approve, could we also revise the agenda to name this resolution as its actual name is in the attachment?
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Student trustee,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you. Board Policy 2315, closed sessions. Motion.
So moved.
Move to approve. Is there a second? Second it. Thank you. Student trustee,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Administrative procedure 2320, special and emergency meetings.
Trustee Gibson, I was going to say if we wanted to make a motion to approve items I-4 through I-8, if that'd be something that my colleagues would second.
I would second that.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Student trustee.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Approve additions, modifications, and deletions to the credit and non-credit curriculum.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Student trustee.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Now go to informational items. Superintendent President's report, please.
Thank you, President Gibson, and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the first board meeting of 2026. The new year is off to a great start, and we've come out of the gate strong. As you saw on New Year's Day, our Lancers represented our college well once again at the Tournament of Roses parade. It hadn't rained on a parade in 20 years, but it rained, and it rained hard. It rained really, really hard on the morning of the parade, particularly before the parade started, between like 6 and 8, while the band was practicing and waiting to actually march. Our students were drenched, but they were not defeated. In fact, they were having a great time. They will be forever able to say that they were the band that marched during the 2026, torrential rain parade. Our Tournament of Roses band and the pageantry and the Herald Trumpets put on an incredible show. They braved the pouring rain and the cold and turned in a stellar performance, as if the skies were blue and they were dry, and I can tell you that neither was the case. We were soaked. I was proud to march alongside such a dedicated and determined group of students and the faculty and staff that make that parade possible. I want to thank all of the students and our new band director that had his inaugural parade, Dr. Peter Huerta. He showed the world what it means to be a PCC Lancer. I was also incredibly, incredibly proud and also wanted to thank all of the staff in facilities and campus police and all the other staff who worked during the break to support the Rose Parade events and also our band fest. And also the folks that also volunteered to help decorate our float, which carried the Rose Court. The Rose Parade would not happen if not for Pasadena City College. We are so integral to the execution of that parade. So thank you to everyone who helped out with the parade over the last several weeks. Last week, on January 7th, in this room, the PCC community gathered to remember and reflect on the anniversary of the Eaton and Palisades fires. It was a year ago that we were still recovering. It's the start of the recovery from those fires. It actually took, if you can believe this, 31 days until the fires were actually officially extinguished. But earlier today, our commemoration of that event continued with a groundbreaking for our new construction trades lab and a community build that we did with Habitat for Humanity. Many of our, actually all of you, all the trustees that are here were part of that build. They came out and all, well, you all look like you had been doing this for a long time. They were experts in building these wall frames, but dozens of people gathered in Lot 3 to formally launch the start of our new lab. When it is completed, this new space will help us train more students in the skilled trades. That means more students will join the skilled trades workforce, and we will be prepared and equipped to help our community to rebuild. We also heard from several guests who are supporting and celebrating our work, including from Governor Gavin Newsom's office, our Labor Secretary, Stuart Knox. The speakers spoke about the importance of launching the Construction Trades Lab for our students, community, and the region as we continue on the road to rebuilding and recovering. Our board president, Steve Gibson, also spoke, as did our vice president for instruction, Dr. Laura Ramirez, and I want to thank Dr. Ramirez and her staff for really working very diligently over the last year to amplify, expand, and create programs to not only help our community rebuild, but also to build great careers. So thank you so much to our team in instruction. After the groundbreaking ceremony, our trustees and other folks rolled up their sleeves and began building. We were wearing hard hats, we had hammers, and the frames and the walls that we built were transported to a construction site in Altadena where a house will be built that was constructed by the volunteers there today. And I know we had many volunteers from our campus community there, and I want to thank them for that. Today's event was also held in the spirit of service to others that helped define the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. On Monday, January 19th, our campus will be closed in honor of the King Day holiday. But on January 20th, Institutional Equity, Diversity, and Justice is hosting a panel discussion grounded in Dr. King's legacy. Panelists will explore today's social political climate and our collective responsibility to advance human rights and justice. The campus community is invited to attend the panel, which will be held at noon in Circadian. I encourage everyone to attend. In addition, on January 27th, as our resolution noted, we will observe Holocaust Remembrance Day. January 27 commemorates the victims of the Holocaust and marks the anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp. The Jewish Federation of the Greater San Gabriel and Pomona Valleys is holding its annual Every Person Has a Name vigil. For 24 hours straight, volunteers will stand on the steps of Pasadena City Hall and read aloud the names of those killed in the Holocaust. The vigil begins Saturday, January 24th at 7 p.m. and continues through Sunday, January 25th at 8 p.m. I encourage everyone to attend. I've done it the past 3 years. I know Trustee Silver has also participated, and so has Dr. Carrie Bolin. It's a very, very powerful event. Finally, I'm requesting that we adjourn, in addition, our meeting in memory of Miss Nancy Lorenz Vega, who was a longtime PCC faculty member who passed away over the break and worked in our non-credit division at our Foothill campus. Thank you, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. We'll go to shared governance groups. Oh, yeah, we have an enrollment presentation. Thank you.
There you go, man. Good way to go, Secretary.
Members of the board, is this on? Yeah, there we go. Members of the board and our PCC community. I'm joined today by Dean Miriam Altunji. We're going to be talking to you a little bit about what we have been doing over the last year and where we are with enrollment and our plans to support enrollment, recruitment, and retention for our PCC students. So first, a few numbers about where we are with our headcount. So as you may know, back in 2018-19, Pasadena City College had a big boom. We had a huge enrollment. Headcount is obviously the number of students that we service, so that includes credit, non-credit, our dual enrollment students, and we were over 40,000 students at that time. That was our high. Even prior to the pandemic, throughout the state of California, colleges were already experiencing a decline in enrollment. And obviously with the pandemic, that really exacerbated that situation. And so you'll see in 21-22, we had quite a drop. We've steadily have returned to our 2018-19 numbers. We're making our way there. You can see coming back to in-person instruction has really supported us being able to recover our enrollment. For 25-26, as of today, we're at a little bit over 18,000 students serviced. And as we move forward, again, just remember this does not include all of our spring enrollments, our winter, and the summer that's coming up. So first, one of the lion's share of apportionment or funding that the college receives is through FTS apportionment, so full-time equivalent students. And a reminder, a full-time student, or the way that an FTS is calculated, is based on students enrolling in 15 units each semester. So whether I have 5 students that each enroll in 3 units or 1 student that enrolls in 15 units, both of those are considered one FTS. Okay, so it's not based on head count, it's based on the number of units students enroll in. And so again, our high was in 2018-19. The blue bars represent our credit enrollment, the orange represents our non-credit, and then the line shows the trend overall combined of how we're doing. Again, during 21-22, the pandemic, that's when we dipped to our lowest, 14,610. I want to share also that it's really important that as an institution we stay over 20,000 FTS because that's what considers us a large college district and it gives us additional funding for enrollment. As well as our center. Our center needs to maintain its robust enrollment so that we can continue with our center status and continue to receive additional funding for that. So our high in 2018-19 was over almost 24,000 FTS, 23,880. A lot has to do with capacity as well, what our capacity is to continue to grow. And then right now, as of 25-26, we're a little bit over 17,000 FTS on the credit side. And again, that does not include spring, it does not include summer, and it does not include our winter as well as our non-credit. So the non-credit is the orange bar that you see there. I'm happy to say that after the pandemic, even in 2018-19, our high was about 1,000 FTS. Last year, we cleared 1,400. The year before that, we were at 1,600. We have a lot of demand for non-credit, both in the workforce type CTE programs, like you saw today when we talked about carpentry and construction, but also with our dual enrollment, doing our Math Academy or continuing our Math Academy, not only with dual enrollment, but in the summer as well.
Sorry, Dr. Ramirez, before you move from these beautiful graphics here. So with the, obviously we are in January and even winter's not even over yet. With the kind of trend of where we are for this academic year, does it seem like we may be surpassing our pre-pandemic
So I'm glad you
numbers?
asked that.
Yeah.
Because yes, the goal is that we are going to surpass our last year's 22,400. I think we'll definitely exceed that. But I think what's also important to note is that during that time we had a lot of fraudulent accounts. If you
Yes.
recall, there was a large number of fraudulent accounts that were elevating those numbers. Right? And while our internal services through Student Services, A&R, and IT were working really hard to try to ameliorate that, we know we were reporting, or we had students that were fraudulent accounts. Since then, the Chancellor's Office has done a great job in collaboration with the colleges to reduce the number. And even with that, I think we will definitely meet and exceed last year's numbers.
Thank you.
Since Trustee Wong commented so will I wanted to point out to the community what a great job our team is doing from marketing to faculty to enrollment services, because we're handicapped with the closure of our Rosemead campus. The Rosemead campus really contributed to our enrollment, and that we are doing so well without Rosemead is a real testament.
Okay. So I also wanted to share some of the growth we've seen in dual enrollment. Over the last few years, it has really boomed. Again, even in 1819, during the college's height, this is headcount in the blue and FTS in the orange. Keep in mind, our dual enrollment students, which are high school students, typically they only take 1 or 2 classes, right? They're not taking a whole 15 units, they're high school students. There are some that take more, but for the vast majority. And so you can see that our headcount has grown. We serviced over 2,500 students last year and generated over 700 FTS. And that's just with dual enrollment, and that continues to grow. Just last week, we've met with South Pasadena, El Monte, Rosemead to look at other dual enrollment opportunities and expand our offerings. Okay, so that's where we are as far as enrollment and where we are with the students that we have on campus. And we're always looking to develop new programs on the instruction side, programs that develop our students and prepare them for the workforce. We look at what's in demand. So for example, the new Serafian building has really offered students an opportunity and access to additional chemistry, biology, anatomy classes, because we have more labs now, more instructional space, and the classes are full. So we know that the Serafian has definitely helped with enrollment on that side. New programs, one that launched last year was the Wildland Fire Academy. We had 30 enrollments on the first one and 28 completers, all of them employed. And that has to do with our partnerships with business and industry. As you may have seen, we have the U.S. Forest Service hiring event this weekend that's coming up, or next weekend. And so again, we're making sure our students participate and have access, first in line to those jobs. For the next Wildland Fire Academy, we have 75 enrolled. As you saw today, out in Lot 3 and in the curriculum that you approved, we have been working through the non-credit program to develop the Construction Trades Readiness Certificate, as well as the Carpentry Pre-Apprenticeship. And those have been definitely popular with students. And not only is it popular with young students, but we know that those jobs lead or provide students living wages and provide a career trajectory within the field, within the industry. We also have a non-credit sterile technician program that's starting in the spring, and that's in collaboration with Huntington Hospital. Our summer high school construction trades program this past summer was very successful. We had more than enough students to enroll. We're looking to do it again next summer. We're developing a non-credit pharmacy tech program, again, high demand, good wages. We launched again a data science credit ADT, where students can get a certificate, a degree for transfer. They get great jobs. The classes are full. We have great demand. 2 things that we're doing continuously is we're now working with our local K-12 to develop credit recovery program through the non-credit to support high school students, making sure they make up those credits in the summer or even during the school year. So that's in process. And then our Summer Math Academy continues to expand. When we first launched, we only offered classes at CEC. We worked with K-12 and said, hey, we really want your sites. We want to offer the classes at your facilities. This summer, we're going to be offering classes at about 4 to 5 different middle schools to support the Math Academy. So, again, a lot of what we do,
Excuse me, just have one question before we leave this slide. I noticed you had 30 enrolled, correct, in that Fire Academy?
Mm-hmm.
How were you able to get to the 75? That's great, I think.
Capacity, so we needed more faculty.
So that's how we
And
got more faculty?
it's tough to find faculty that meet our min quals, as well that have the availability to teach during the day. So a lot has to do with capacity and growing the program. We supported the program with lottery funds to make sure all the students have the equipment, the supplies they need, not only within the program, but even after when they get employed.
Okay, thank you.
And the foundation bought the boots.
The foundation bought the boots, yes. Very
And
expensive.
those are the most expensive boots.
Yes, they are.
Over $500 a piece.
Yeah.
Yep.
They last forever, actually. They just like fix them, right? When
Yeah, it is an expensive program, and we're fortunate that the foundation has supported it, as well as, the state with lottery dollars. We can use that to support and make sure the students have the equipment and supplies they need. And the collaboration with Pasadena Fire has also helped, using their facility and some of their staff as well. Okay, so new programs is great. We always want to bring in new students. But we want to make sure that we continue to have a presence in the community, and we want to make sure that we're engaging in activities to make sure they stay here and they're successful. And Miriam's going to share a little bit about what we've been doing.
So if you've noticed a lot of our marketing materials around town, it's all purposeful. We've done a fabulous job trying to continue to build our brand as PCC, as Pasadena City College. So you'll see things like our Metro cards inside of buses, railway systems, and such, as well as our bus wraps, going through different areas of different bus lines that come to PCC. Really just trying to get our brand out in the community, letting them know that we're here and we're here to support our students. In addition to that, really highlighting our community at PCC, you'll see some of our pole banners, both on the Colorado campus as well as the Foothill campus, showcasing some of our faculty, staff, and employees. Just get to know PCC, really the human side of what we bring to our community. In addition to that, our Tournament of Roses, big, right? Our advertising with the Tournament of Roses has been an opportunity for us to get PCC out there, the name, the programming, a lot of the work that we do around the Tournament of Roses, as Dr. Gomez mentioned, is pivotal to the event. And so really leveraging that to ensure that the community understands and knows our role in the work for the tournament. And also coming soon, our Rosemead campus, it's been mentioned. We leverage a lot of our construction site fencing as a marketing avenue, and so you'll see some of the wraps on our construction sites as a possibility, and you'll see them at the Rosemead campus once those go up.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I know David comes up with amazing language on those, so those have always been fun. And in addition to that, our marketing doesn't stop there. We obviously go out into the social media aspects of a lot of the engagement from students, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and so on, Snapchat, wherever our students are, we try to have a presence. And so you'll see some of our marketing has come out for our event like Rock and Roll. We did that for fall. It was an on-the-spot enrollment activity where we had a lot of resources available to just try to get students that last step into enrolling for the fall semester. I'm going to play, we'll see if it plays. This was the advertisement for that. Build Your Future really leans into our recovery efforts for the fire recovery work. Our turkey tussle, I'll play that real quick. I think this one's short. And particularly fun, so we don't have sound, but we were rooting for both sides because both sides are going to be Lancers, right? So just efforts like this, really being where our community is and where our future students are, is working on building the brand of PCC. And so a lot of the advertising that you'll see will be focused on that. With that, coupled with the marketing, we're delivering on outreach and recruitment activities. You'll see we had a huge open house showing this year. This was one of our largest open houses. Our FYE and outreach team put this together every year. Once we moved to FYE for all first-year students are invited. We had 910 students, 2,100 in total attended, including their families. We include their families. We have workshops for both the parents and anyone they bring with them, any partners in crime as far as their education goes are welcome to join. And the students attend workshops for learning about the Pathways program, learning about priority registration, learning about our resources. We hosted a resource fair that day. And it really has brought the PCC community together, where we've had instruction and student services and our student advocates and so on sort of participate and provide that opportunity for students to get to know each other, learn about everything before they come and commit to Pasadena City College. And again, this year has been the largest. I want to give a shout out to our counseling team because we had a lot of counselors on staff that day. We intentionally had appointments available for students who did not have ed plans at the point that they attended that day, and I think that was a big draw. We really want to make sure that students have those plans in order to start off strong with their fall registrations as well as summer. In addition to that, we've been in various areas of our, both locally in our district area and outside. So Taste of Arcadia was an event that we attended, among others, and our Latino Heritage Festival, as well as Copa Univision. Other engagement and outreach opportunities, we have our College Corps program who's helped students internships within our recovery, our fire recovery efforts, collaborating with our Foothill campus. We had our first Ready Steady credit that was in December. A good participation with our non-credit to credit pipeline, really working with the outreach staff and our non-credit Foothill campus folks to create a really intentional bridge from our non-credit programs to our credit programs, as well as our adult school recruitment has been increasing. We're working on continuing to increase our Black and African American student enrollment we've hired our first full-time Black student outreach and recruitment, Sam Reed. You've probably seen him around. If you haven't, you should probably meet him. He's awesome. And then we have an event coming up on February 27th for our Rooted and Rising Black Future Leaders event. So look into that. Please attend if you can. We're coordinating program recruitment for CTE. So we're being really intentional about where we put our outreach and recruitment efforts. We have limited resources, and with that, we want to be really intentional about recruiting for CTE programs that both have capacity and good outcomes for our students. And so we're working closely with our CTE areas in order to navigate that space of recruiting for those programs. The landscape is always changing, and workforce development's changing, and so on. And so we want to make sure that we stay in lockstep with what would be best for our students. And then expanding our dual enrollment, Dr. Ramirez already spoke a little bit about that. And then retention has been a huge conversation piece for us. Recruitment is it takes a lot of effort to bring people in. Once we have them in, it is our work to try to help them achieve and maintain their outcomes for the thing that they came to PCC to accomplish. And so that's the work hugely in my area, but I work very closely across campus with everybody, particularly with our retention specialists who are looking at data on an ongoing basis to ensure that we see where our gaps are in terms of students, if they drop classes or if their early alert comes up and we need to reach out. They and the success coaches are mobilized to be that first point of contact to outreach to students and make sure that they're supported, connected with the plethora of resources that we have at the college. We have so many resources, sometimes students have a hard time figuring out what to connect with. And so through our retention efforts, we're really trying to figure out how to curate the resources and the student connection together. In addition to that, so our success coaches, huge help we were able to mobilize them, especially during last year's fires. They were the ones who helped outreach to students at that time because they've already had the training, the infrastructure, and the support in order to be able to get out there and make phone calls and reach out and connect students with supports. We work with faculty leads on making sure that our connection with instruction and student, we can't work alone. Our students are mostly in the classrooms. We don't see as many of them in student services, so it is critical that we connect with our instructional side of the house, our teachers who are in the classroom, to see if we can work on it together to connect students with services. And so they don't have to know everything, but they know who to contact now. And so through our early alert system, if they're not familiar with our services, they can raise an alert for students, and we'll help connect that student with those resources. We've had conversations in our success teams, which are cross-functional teams focusing on the outcomes that the college is trying to achieve. We have enrollment and retention working group that, again, bring together a bunch of different folks from student services, instruction, faculty, staff, and so on, whoever is involved in retention and enrollment, to have conversations around where we have gaps and how we can improve our processes and procedures to make things easier for our students. And our student advisory equipo has been huge in doing research and action research with our students to help inform some of the things that some of the practices that we've been able to put in place, and to help us assess some of the activities that we've put in place to see if they're being effective for students. I also want to give a big shout out to our counselors. We've been able to really strategize with our counseling staff, success coaches, campaigns around educational planning. We're really trying to close the gap on educational plans. Again, students with educational plans have a better sense of what it is that they need to take, what their roles are, what the outcomes are, potentially connecting them with career services, because if we know our career, we know where we're going, we have a better sense of what it is we're trying to accomplish. We've worked on a campaign around academic standing and working with the financial aid office to ensure that students who are experiencing challenges are connected, again, with counselors so that they can get back on track and get their financial aid reinstated with a plan. We've had a lot of registration events and activities trying to make sure that all of the potential bottlenecks that could exist for students during their registration process are addressed just in time. And then I mentioned the early alert, and we've seen our retention rates overall sort of grow over the last few years. And I do have to say, having our retention specialists on the team have been really critical, to have somebody intentionally thinking about retention all the time, so that we're able to pivot very quickly when we're trying to build activities and just-in-time supports. And then lastly, again, I mentioned faculty engagement. It is really critical that we connect with our faculty. They're in front of students all the time. And so part of the work that we've been trying to do is create opportunities for teaching and learning with them to help them either have access to the resources, understand the resources, supports, and services, and really be able to connect students with those services, whether it be a referral or whether it be just understanding and walking them to a service because they know about it. We've had a faculty lead in student services for a moment who has been able to go into divisions to talk through and teach them about our system, teach them about early alert, teach them about our programs and services that they can connect students to, and that increased our progress survey completion rate by almost 400%. So that meant to us that articulated to us that we really just need to help support faculty, help support their students. And so we're just going to continue working on that to bridge that and continue communicating with our faculty a lot more.
And finally, this is, the work that we do is not only in partnership with all of the different programs, services, and office on our campus, but we work a lot with outside agencies as well to support our students, and a lot of workforce development partnerships as well. So we just wanted to recognize that the work is really a big lift for everybody. Any questions?
Trustee Yu.
Yeah, thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. It's really exciting to hear about all the work going on. I just had one question about the dual enrollment slide. I know we looked at the headcount increase, which is fantastic to see. I'm curious if we know where most of this headcount growth is coming from in terms of part of the district, which of our partner K-12 partners, but also if we don't have the data, no worries.
We could disaggregate it and get it back to you.
Okay, just curious. Thank you.
Trustee Wong?
Great question. I would love to also see that. I know my area probably isn't as strong as some of my colleagues, but that would be really helpful. I thank you for the presentation. I know a tremendous amount of work across our campus goes into everything that's been described in today's presentation. And I think for our community members, when we bundle it up like this, it becomes more digestible and clear in terms of what's happening, but not realizing the countless hours that goes behind all of this work. So thank you. And one thing that I am really particularly excited about when we were looking at that retention slide, and I know we talked a lot about the work that retention, especially after we spent all this effort bringing students into our college. But the number increases, the change between over the last 5 years, increasing our retention rates is also something I just wanted to particularly highlight, which I'm really excited about. And when I was on the institutional effectiveness website looking at the breakdown, disaggregated data of retention rates, which has also increased across different communities, including communities that we've been talking about a lot in our student equity plan and our other conversations we've been having to support students, increases in our retention rates for our Black students and Latina students. So I just wanted to highlight that for a second and thank all the work that goes into making that a reality. So thank you.
Yes. Hi, I'm interested in the career technical education outreach that you're doing. If you can say what kind of programs are the ones that you're conducting particular outreach with, and how do you find those? Because I think that's a more amorphous group of people. How are you finding them?
So first is we do have institutional data that shows which programs need enrollment, right? Which programs have opportunities for growth. So that's the first thing we identify. And then, of course, our student services folks can talk a little bit about how they identify the students that would be a great fit and how we continue to market towards them.
So once those are identified and we know that we have the capacity to grow those programs, then we mobilize our outreach efforts. And a lot of it, the conversations that we've had are around partnerships with, if it's different advisory groups that we would go to in order to find out where students are. We have our traditional student high school outreach processes that are in place, and so if we know that we have these programs that we really want to elevate, they fit right into there. But the other areas that we continue to explore are like the EDD department and so on. And so how do we help connect students, potential prospective students with those programs once we know we have capacity for them?
So are there, can you name
Specific
like a strategy? Or, yeah.
Well, yeah, do you want to?
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, I think something that we take for granted is our summer program where we expose students to the trades. So working with our outreach team and letting them know that we have students on campus that, for example, do not know we have an EMT program, do not know we have a cosmetology program, because number one, they're not as visible maybe. So the advertising you see around campus, that's one strategy to make sure students are aware that we even have a program. That's the first step. The other piece is when we go out and do any kind of outreach events, especially with K-12, is the number one seller of any one of our programs is our faculty, because they can speak to it, they get excited about it, and then the students have someone that they can connect with. So whenever we did like the open house, one of the big, I think, pluses this last couple of years is that we've had our faculty from all our departments out there talking to students to tell them, what can you do with an administration of justice degree, for example? It's not just being a police officer. It is a huge field. So that's one of the main strategies we use, is we have been trying to work to get more and more faculty to be the face of their programs, to be out there when we do any kind of open house, any kind of marketing event, when they go out to the community, that we have our faculty there representing their programs.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Can I answer that question too? I have regular meetings with superintendents and principals, and I'm always talking about CTE. In fact, there have been some school districts who are exploring their high school expansion of CTE, and they would like to do those programs using dual enrollment. So we've been having those conversations as well.
Thank you.
Trustee Aragon?
Oh, yes, I just thank you very much for your presentation. Wonderful on the enrollment growth. I just want to, I know Armando's not here today, but I know a lot of the work falls on the counselors, right, when it comes to educational plans and, you know, the entry point. So I'm not sure what's going to be happening in the future with hiring more counselors, but I just want to encourage the administration to kind of always keep a look out for that, because, you know, as we get more students in, that means that we need, you know, to attend to their needs in an efficient way. So that's all I wanted to say about that. Thank you.
I want to express my appreciation for all the work that's going on in all the departments, with the staff, with faculty, with counselors, all the work that's going on that have produced these great results. And thanks for giving us the presentation and pulling that presentation together. You know, I want to express the appreciation of all the board on all the work and successful efforts that's being carried on in the department. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Announcements by shared governance. Let's go to Associated Students.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jai Watkins, and I'm the Executive Vice President of Associated Students. I'm the student tasked with overseeing club life at PCC, and I'm filling in for Associated Students President Chloe Dang. I'm happy to report that after the holidays, AS has diligently been preparing for the spring semester. We're in the process of programming events and increasing collaboration between AS committees, and we're excited to report that once those events are completed, we're going to be following up here and explaining how they all went. Thank you.
Thank you. Management Association.
Good evening, everyone. It's colder and quieter on campus in winter compared to fall, but inevitably managers stay busy. The winter session has already brought many changes and challenges to navigate, and I'm in constant admiration of the managers who time and again do it all, not just because it has to get done, but because they are committed to PCC students and employees. In particular, I want to acknowledge TJ and the entire ITS management team and staff, because we've had major updates with Banner, Lancer Point, multi-factor authentication. Thank you for your work and your support as the campus puts these new systems to use. In the same vein, I'd like to acknowledge the work that the academic deans and departments have done in supporting students and faculty in navigating Lancer Point changes and communicating needs and issues to ITS. I'd also like to appreciate all the student services managers and student-facing staff who are working with students through these technical changes and supporting them through registration still. Specifically, I'd like to acknowledge Dr. Miriam Altunji, whose innovation and leadership has streamlined communication between student services departments and created specific systems to give staff and students answers and solutions faster. Thank you, Miriam. Another manager I'd like to highlight is Jackie Sokoto and the team at the Freeman Career Center. One program is the PCC College Core program. The 20 PCC student fellows participating in the inaugural PCC College Core program have successfully completed their third month of service. These fellows continue to make a meaningful impact in our local community following the Eaton fires through hands-on rebuilding efforts with the San Gabriel Valley Habitat for Humanity, direct support for local small businesses through the Small Business Development Center, SBDC, and service across a total of 14 community partner organizations. Today, 5 College Core student fellows further exemplified the program's mission by participating in the PCC Community Build event, demonstrating their commitment to community service while developing as the next generation of civic leaders. There's also a Night Owl Career Workshop series going on in the Freeman Center. This winter intersession, the Freeman Career Center launched the Night Owl Zoom Career Workshop series, held on Mondays at 7 p.m., to increase access to career services for working students, student parents, and others whose schedules limit daytime availability. These workshops are facilitated by certified career counselor Shelby McIntyre, former success coach, what makes this program especially impactful is that it is open not only to PCC students, but also to alumni, staff, and faculty seeking career development support. More information is available on the Freeman Career Center website. Finally, I'd like to acknowledge congratulations to 2 new managers in 2 new positions. Jing Wang will join Facilities and Construction Services as a development manager, and Jesus Coronel will join ITS as a supervisor of technology support. welcome to PCC. This concludes our report. Thank you.
Thank you. Student trustee,
No report.
thank you. Trustee Gardagon.
Yes, I just want to wish everyone a happy New Year, Feliz Año Nuevo, and all the students that are taking their winter session class. I hope they're studying hard, and I know how that goes because I'm actually teaching this winter session for the first time. And I just want to make a remark in regards to the rain. I was actually in the audience, and our staff, we have a staff grandstand. Do we still have that staff grandstand? And I was there 20 years ago when it rained. I think it had not rained in 50 years or something like that. But I was sitting there with my family, and my mom in particular, and some of my family wanted to leave because of the rain. And my mom refused to leave. She said, "No, you got these tickets. We're here for the long haul." So may she rest in power. So I remember when it rained 20 years ago. So, and we see as Indigenous people, this last rain, I know it was difficult on those that were in the parade, but their perseverance was fantastic. And I really see the rain as a cleansing time, especially given the 1-year anniversary of what happened with the Eden fires. It was just very poignant for me. So Happy New Year to everyone. I was able to attend the groundbreaking ceremony, so congratulations on all the staff that put that together. I really enjoyed myself, and congratulations. So thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Wong.
Thank you. Happy New Year, everyone, and to our hardworking students who are in our winter session, and all the staff, faculty, and managers that have been hard at work getting us off the ground running for this calendar year. I wanted to take one quick second now that I'm excited to be back on committees, and one of our first committee meetings yesterday was our facilities subcommittee meeting, and I was just really astonished by the work of our facilities team led by Mr. Lorette, and I'm just really grateful. And I wanted to highlight that briefly only because I think we are starting to see the impacts of this work, right? We're seeing the life that has come back into our mirror pools with the students that are constantly there day in and day out, utilizing that space, the programming that is now all back in, mostly all back, close to being almost all back into the Serafium building, and the tools that that's providing for our students in the Serafium building, and the plans to come that I am impressed by. That it's like walking, walking and chewing gum at the same time, kind of. Is that the right analogy? But doing that like 6-7 times over with different aspects and demands from our campus, since we know that we are in need for example, more space for our STEM programs, and the work to build a new STEM building, the work to commit ourselves to a more expansive vision for Rosemead than we originally, when I first joined the board, a much more expansive vision for Rosemead than we had originally anticipated. And so I wanted to just take a second to appreciate that work going into this calendar year, because we know that there is much more ahead, and especially because we are PCC, we continue to think bigger and think more expansively and want to do more. And in doing that, it requires a lot more time for our team, our staff, and a commitment from our community. And so I look forward to also expanding those conversations with our community about how do we continue to bring this to life. So thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Silver.
Trustee Wong, when you were speaking about all the projects we've done, it reminded me how often when I'm speaking to somebody in the community, they bring up how much they enjoy seeing our refreshed mirror pools with the oak trees and the tables, and that we are bringing little sparks of joy to thousands of people as they drive by our campus on Colorado Boulevard. It really makes people happy to see students using the spaces that we've created. So that's something that I got reminded of. In January, 2 weeks ago, I was on the Community College League of California, brought together a small group of trustees and CEOs to contemplate the future, looking 10, 15 years out for the California community college system. It was strategic foresight visioning, and it was really exciting and thrilling to be a part of. We contemplated the landscape as we see it now, continuing landscape if we have collapse, like what if the tech bubble bursts and California's tax revenues plummet, a happier future where technology continues to stay and thrive in California, plus so many aspects of what could come with AI being a large part. Imagining that AI could maybe take the drudgery out of all the reports that our system is required to produce, maybe could take tasks that are best, that could be shifted to AI to leave us more time with high touch and interpersonal time. Maybe, what is literacy? If you can just put in a prompt, do you need to write? I mean, I would maintain yes. Do we go back to the ancient Greek form of education with a faculty member guiding conversation? So all kinds of things. And I'm bringing this up because at the conclusion, we talked about what would be a good way to expand this kind of thinking. And we decided to do a Teach the Trainer program, and I'm going to really advocate that PCC be chosen as one of the colleges to be able to send staff, faculty to a future envisioning project. And if you have the ability to be a part of this, I highly recommend it. It really, as NATO games out future strategies, so must the community college system. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Stilu?
Thank you. I was not expecting to hear about NATO at this meeting. Happy New Year, everyone. It's so great to be back at PCC in this new year. I appreciate Trustee Wong mentioning at the top of the meeting that and President Gomez, that it's been a year since the devastating wildfires. So I also want to take a moment to, of course, not only reflect, but thank all of you. I know after the wildfires and in the weeks and months after and immediately after as well, PCC faculty, staff, students, admin, managers stood up and they were involved tirelessly for all that time helping to rebuild. So I just wanted to give my appreciation for that. And as a next step of that, I know we had our construction trades lab groundbreaking today, which all of us were able to be there. I couldn't stay for the build, unfortunately, because I had to participate in a great transfer panel, which I'll talk about. But I want to thank Caroline for letting me hit a nail. So at least I know I did 0.0001% of the build. That's my nail. And then lastly, I just want to mention, so I had to leave that early because we had, for the 10th year in a row, our annual transfer panel on private schools was the transfer center. I want to thank Dean Alexander, Miss Arlene West, and the entire transfer center team for helping us organize it. Obviously, I'm preaching to the choir, but I just wanted to mention a little bit about it because back when I was a PCC student, I totally did not think about applying to a private school. Applied on a whim, got accepted, had to Google where Yale was and found out it was in Connecticut. And after 3 years, I realized I hated Connecticut, and that's why I'm back here. But it was a really life-changing opportunity to go there. And for me, I always thought when I was at Yale that, sure, my Ivy League classmates are smart and talented and driven, but my PCC classmates were just as, if not more, talented, driven, passionate. But for whatever reason, people from PCC weren't applying to these schools back then. So 10 years ago, we had our first ever transfer workshop with the transfer center. We encouraged students to look at these schools. We always told them that the name of the school you go to, the name of the job you do shouldn't matter and should not be the mark of success. But you should never self-limit or self-select out of opportunities just because you're from a community college. You're just as qualified as anyone going to any fancy private school. No offense to any private schools nearby us. And since then, we've had students transfer we've had 5 other students transfer to TL. We've had students in today's panel transfer to MIT, Princeton, Stanford. And I think that really just speaks to the quality of PCC students and our faculty and staff. So I look forward to the next 10 years of this workshop. I will hopefully stop moderating it in some time. But again, give a shout out to the great transfer center we have on campus. And that concludes my report.
Thank you.
Can I just say one thing on that, Ryan? Because Ryan has come and spoke to my class, and it's not the only impact that you have here on this campus, but in the community at another college. And I do evaluations of my class, and your name came up quite often as to the impact that you had in those students that you spoke to. So thank you for continuing to do that.
I thought you were going to say it was all bad things about me.
You're going to come back again.
Thank you, fellow trustees. I'm honored to join the board of Black elected officials of California. Our goal is to provide support and resources for Black elected officials throughout the state at all levels who have been elected or appointed to office. So I'm happy to be join as a part of that and be the vice president of membership. So that's something I'm looking forward to doing a lot of work on in the coming year. It was great to participate, to watch the Rose Parade from our school stands. The band and the other people who marched weren't deterred by the rain, so neither was I. We had to be out there in the stands to support our wonderful band and the folks that were walking out in the rain. So I was glad to be there, and it was a wonderful event. And I was so proud to see our band go by. It was a wonderful day. The last week has been filled with activities around the devastating fires of a year ago. And I want to give a special thanks to Pasadena City College for providing support for this impacted students, impacted staff and faculty, and the continuing support for the efforts to rebuild in Altadena and Pasadena. That's going to be an ongoing process for the coming years. So my neighbors and my friends in Altadena have received help from Pasadena City College, and I want to acknowledge that and give thanks to all the staff, faculty, administration, and PCC who have been part of that support for the ongoing efforts in the Altadena burn area. So thank you so much for that support, and I'm looking forward to the continuing efforts we're going to have to continue in the coming years. That concludes my report.
Trustee Gibson, before we move on, I just wanted you were very gracious in thanking the college and other folks who have stepped up. And certainly, I mean, there's been a lot of folks across our community here at the college who have stepped up. But I wanted to take a second to also recognize you for your leadership. Folks, I know you don't probably want to share it on your own necessarily all the time, but I know many of the folks here in the room know that you've been a consistent voice for your neighbors, not only because you were impacted by the fires, but you've been a consistent voice for your neighbors in fighting for a just recovery, a recovery that actually supports people who have lived in Altadena and are from Altadena and have deep roots in Altadena. I know a number of us on the board here were thrilled to join you in gathering your neighbors this past weekend. I know that kind of activity, that kind of action, that kind of decision and your advocacy, it makes a difference in a time where we are seeing challenging headwinds on what it means to have a just recovery. So I just wanted to take a second to thank you for your leadership, not just here at the college, certainly, but especially for your neighbors and your community. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I don't know how you managed to write a book with everything you did. That
Proposed future board business meeting dates. Any changes? Any proposed changes? No. Proposed future agenda items? None. None. Do we have a move to adjourn?
I move to adjourn in memory of all the folks we've mentioned today.
Thank you. Yeah, we will adjourn for Miss Hannah McDonald, Miss Nancy Lorenz Vega, and the 31 people who lost their lives in the Altadena and Palisades fires.
And I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Adjourned.
Thank you.